So hi folks, back again, and it is time to reveal the competition winner. But first of all, I have to say thank you for everyone that entered. For all of you that commented on the 4 videos I've done so far, it's been super great to have your feedback and talk to you all. But let's not waffle on, let's reveal, using the greatest technology on offer, the winner. No expenses spared here, folks. Well, what do you know? Kieran Nathan, contact me, buddy. I'll get those flyers sent out to you. Throw some extra stickers, throw some extra bits in, and get them sent out to you. I hope you'll catch you a few fish down south, mate. So anyway, let's get on with the fly video and show you what I'm tying today. So this is a pattern I took inspiration from Tim Wood for and tied many years ago. It's a March Brown emerger, although I do use it for Mayfly as well in size 10s. It's tied on a Klinkhammer hook. It's an absolutely awesome emerger pattern. It's got great floatability, the perfect footprint for an emerging March Brown or Mayfly, and when the fish are hard on the feed, this fly has never let me down, so it's a pattern I really wanted to share with you guys. So let's get on and I'll show you how to tie it. So straight in with the tying, and I've got a size 12 Klinkhammer hook here, but I tie them in 12s and 10s normally. You're imitating big flies, don't be afraid to go with a big hook. Now I'm going to get the thread on the hook and work my way down, and yes, I am not drunk, the Klinkhammer hook is not square in the vise, because I'm going to work all the way down straight away to where I want the tail to go in. So I'm going to work my way right the way down just until the hook starts to just bend out straight. There. How you've got, what I mean by straight is the top of the hook's going there. Just as it starts to go vertical, I'm going to stop. Don't want to come too far and tuck the tail under. Don't want to stay too far out and tuck it out. I want it just there. And the tail material I'm going to use is pheasant tail fibres, natural. And I'm just going to grab those, a good bunch, because I want a nice strong tail here. Again, it's a bold fly. It's when fish are really hard on the March Brown, really hard on the Mayfly, and I've got no problem seeing a nice big pattern and thinking I'm having that. So big positive fly, and I'm going to tie that in with 2 wraps to hold it still, and then I'm just going to tuck it up. Some of the fibres are broke, but that's okay. I'm just going to turn it a little bit more, slightly shorter, and I'm happy with that as a tail. So I'm then going to lock that in with extra turns, making sure this trimmed end stays on the top of the hook as I go upwards. I'm going to lock that down all the way up, just to keep the body taper up to the point where the hook starts to flatten out. From there, I'm going to grab my scissors and just trim those butt ends away. Tie it down, and then I'm going to come straight back down again. Not right to the end. This time I'm going to tie the ribbon. Again, I'm coming in with this brown thread I used in my last one. The closest I can think to what it is Danville's Monocord in 1/0, but I don't actually have a clue what it is. I'm going to tie that in on the side of the hook there and hang it out the way. From here, just want to straighten the hook up again, turn it this way, and come in with some dubbing wax and wax the thread up. And now we're going to come in with our dubbing. I'm using the JW Mayfly blend by Vicuna. Yep, I know they do a March Brown blend. I know this isn't, you know, the bona fide March Brown colours. But I used it last year on the River Usk during the March Brown hatches. And every fish I saw that were feeding on March Browns that I put over, as long as I got the drift right, Didn't seem to have any problems catching those fish at all. So if it ain't broke, I ain't fixing it. And I'm just going to come in nice and light to start with. Nice and light down this edge. Just coating the dubbing off. And as I build up, I'm just going to slightly increase the taper. Not massively though, I want a relatively slim profile body. Licking my fingers just to help this dubbing adhere nicely. I'm just going to work my way up, stopping at that flat spot, just where I left that pheasant tail dubbing up there. That's why pheasant tail dubbing, the pheasant tail tail. That's why I tie that pheasant tail butt off there. It just helps me with my dubbing when I'm coming up to be a marker. From here I'm going to grab the rib. I'm going to wrap it by hand. I want a good amount of ribs coming through this dubbing. I'm not going to be shy. I like the nice segmented effect that this creates through the dubbing. Slightly opening the turns a bit as I go further up. And now I'm going to come over and tie this in, which will look very awkward because I've put the camera in the way of my left hand. So I'm going to come in and tie that off, and the body pretty much made there, done. I'm going to come in with the scissors and cut this excess off, and I'm going to come right the way up, just short of the eye. Because next I need to tie in the wing, and for this I want two relatively big CDC feathers. I like the nice fluffy feathers. I don't want the massive feathers with the thick stems. I want something with a relatively slender stem, a nice downy feather. I'm going to tie those in with a natural curve following the hook down. And I'm going to loosely wrap that in, making sure to keep this on top by pulling just here ever so slightly. I'm going to stop here once I've tied it in back to where that body dubbing starts, because I'm going to fold that over then. I'm going to have a look. At the moment that's massively too long, so all I'm going to do is back off. Once you've tied a few, you sort of get your eye in for the size, but I really just want to demonstrate here how to adjust that wing length. Go again, tie that over. That's fine. It's got to be a big wing because you're imitating big flies hatching off. There's no problem if it's, you know, don't think, oh god, it's too big, you know. It all adds to this fly. So I'm going to tie that in, flatten the butts down, come all the way back to make sure I'm butted against that body dubbing. From here now, I'm going to grab a nice Grizzle cock hackle. Now this is a size 12. On a gauge, this feather comes in at a size 10. It's important with this pattern that you slightly oversize your hackle. Just works out better flotation, better profile. So always go slightly over. And we're going to tie that in and come back up for some more dubbing. So on with the wax again. Make an absolute meal of it. And it's the same dubbing as the body. The Vicuna JW Mayfly blend. And again now I'm going to slightly thicker making a right mess of this today, all fingers and thumbs. Slightly thicker than the rest of the body up here. Get some bulk up there, but I want to stop roughly 3/4 of an eye back to leave room for everything. You don't want to be butted right up. So I'm going to stop there, and now it's time to just wind this hackle, making sure it stays with the fibres pointing with the shiny side towards the eye. I'm going to wrap, not touching. All I want is 3 or 4 turns and to tie that in like so, and just snip off that excess. Push the fibres back, make sure we're nice and neat. And from here now, just lick your fingers, find the centre, and just part that hackle fibres to either side, which then allows me to brush this CDC back and come over the top. Take your time here, there is no rush. Make sure all the fibres are free. Just come over with 2 locking turns to start with. Pull the CDC, make sure you've got nice tension. Leave some fibres back here as well, that really adds to the fly, gives it more movement, makes it look a hell of a load more buggy. And then we're just going to put a couple wraps in front there, like so. I'm going to turn the fly to the side again just to make it easier to double the thread. Good, I'm going to double the thread one more time with again just another touch of the Vicuna dubbing blend, the JW Mayfly. Brush all these fibres back so I'm not trapping them. I'm just going to put a loose amount there and then tighten up slightly now just to cock that CDC wing upwards, stop it folding forwards like so. Perfectly done there, if I do say so myself. Another turn just to get that last bit off, like so. Make an absolute mess of the eye. And as always, to finish off now, it's been traumatic this fly has, hasn't it, folks? Still, I'm here to show real tying, not just the best. I'm gonna come in, fold that CDC back, fold all the fibres back. I'm going to come in with a 3 turn whip finish and just sneak it in here, wiggling around just to slip it back off that eye and just break it off there nice and tight. At the moment you might think, what an absolute royal mess, but we're going to come here now with your scissors, reach underneath and trim off everything underneath, bar the fibres that stick out pretty much at a 90 degree. Anything pointing down we're removing. So I'm going to come in, brush them up, brush them down, make sure there's none sticking out. Clean off any stragglers, and that's your fly finished. You've got this awesome body here that sits fully subsurface, whilst the hackle fibres here splay out on the surface, and your CDC wing allows you to see the fly easily, floats like an emerging insect, like the wings just breaking out of the shuck. And it's an absolutely awesome pattern, and to be honest I can't wait to try this again next year and fish with it, because as I said, during the March brown hatches, every time I put that fly over a fish, it had no problems finishing it off. So yeah, go out there, give that a try, see how you get on. I reckon you'll enjoy that. I'm just going to cut these off a little more off camera just to level them up equal with the other wing. But yeah, that's a finished fly, so give that a try. Hope you enjoy it.